Have you been told by a doctor before to eat the Mediterranean diet, but you're not really sure what that means? Or maybe you heard about it on the news or from a friend and you're curious to give it a try? In this video, I'm going to tell you about the easiest way you can start eating the Mediterranean diet today with 3 super simple ways to get started. Don't worry at all if you feel a little bit nervous about this or if you're not really feeling sure of yourself. I'm going to break it down for you in the simplest possible approaches. I promise that you'll be able to get started today with these 3 super simple steps so that you can start eating the Mediterranean diet, boosting your health, and living well. If you're new here or if you've been here before, hi, I'm Dr. Anna. I'm a medical doctor. I was trained in Italy, in the heart of the Mediterranean region, rich in abundance and full of healthy food. I want to bring you the most evidence-based information that is practical, useful, and a lot of fun. So before we dive into our 3 super simple ways to start eating the Mediterranean diet now, I want to take a step backwards and discuss a little bit about why this diet is so famous. So it all started a few decades ago in the 1960s and 70s when a lot of researchers started making this observation that cultures surrounding the Mediterranean region, specifically Southern Europe and Turkey, Israel, and Northern Africa, were eating a traditional diet that their ancestors have been eating for hundreds, if not thousands of years. And it just so happens that the people living in this region have better health outcomes. So what does that mean? These people tend to live longer than other populations in the world. They have lower rates of obesity and lower rates of chronic diseases, the ones that are plaguing our country and our world today. Things like diabetes, hypertension, cardiovascular disease and atherosclerosis, dementia, and even cancer. So this got researchers really questioning, what is it about these cultures and specifically the lifestyle of the people in this area that allows them to live a long time and develop less disease than other people in other parts of the world? What really sparked interest in this diet is that at the time, there was a lot of thought that having a lot of fat in your diet made you fat and caused you to have more diseases. But the puzzling thing is that these cultures around the Mediterranean region tend to eat quite a bit of fat. These are not low-fat diets. So it got researchers digging into what was really going on here and trying to pull all of the puzzle pieces together. And so what the researchers uncovered is that lots of vegetables and fruits in their diet, eating whole grains in their natural form, unrefined, unprocessed. As well, the populations in this region tend to consume a lot more fish. And when they're eating fish, they're often doing that instead of meat. So by default, they tend to eat less red meat, things like beef, bison, deer, and boar. The other characteristic, which I mentioned before, is that these diets are not low fat. But what's significant is that because they're eating things like fish instead of meat, they're eating different types of fats. Often they're getting their fats from olive oil. And this is the significant point. Olive oil has something called monounsaturated fats, whereas a lot of animal meat and products have more saturated fats. And that was a big distinction in what was causing the different rates of diseases in this region. All of these regions tend to eat slower meals, they take their time, and they often eat in social settings with big groups, so maybe with their family or their community. So if you're intrigued about this and you want to know how you can start eating the Mediterranean diet today so that you don't develop all of these chronic diseases and you don't have a shorter lifespan, then you are ready for my 3 super simple ways. All right, step number 1 is to pack your fridge and your grocery list with vegetables and fruits. The Mediterranean diet is centered on fresh produce. Having a lot of fruits and vegetables gives your body a lot of nutrition. So these are foods that we consider nutrition rich or nutrition dense. But the thing is, these foods pack a lot of punch. So there's a lot of vitamins and minerals at the same time that they're not high in calories, and they provide a lot of fiber. So by increasing your consumption of whole form vegetables and fruits, you are doing yourself a huge favor by filling up on some of the healthiest foods that grow on Earth. Now, I also mentioned fiber. So fiber is a really important component of food. It is that bulk aspect of a lot of vegetables and fruits that allows us to ease our digestion. It helps us absorb water that we're eating either from our food or drinking. As well, it decreases our risk for colon cancer. And colon cancer is unfortunately on the rise, and we are seeing it in younger and younger people every year. So do not be shy when it comes to packing your kitchen with vegetables and fruits for yourself and your family. It is absolutely crucial that you are eating enough of these foods. Now, if you found value in this video so far, subscribe to this channel. I want you to be able to follow along and learn as much as you need to increase your health knowledge and boost that nutrition. Okay, step number 2 for how to apply the Mediterranean diet right now is to eat grains in their whole form. Now, what does this mean? So a lot of the times we are eating grains in the form of breakfast cereals, crackers, cookies, bread, cakes, pies, muffins. The list goes on and on. But the thing about the Mediterranean diet is that this diet is really abundant in natural grain, the way it comes from the earth, from the plants. So these are things like cooked rice, whole form oats, buckwheat, amaranth, rye, barley, farro. The list goes on and on. There are so many grains under the sun. If you've no idea how to cook one of these things in short form, you just boil it. You make it like a pasta. It's pretty simple. And most of the time, when you buy one of these foods from the grocery store, they're going to tell you on the package how much water you need to use and how long you have to boil it for. But it's super simple. All of you could be doing this starting today. The nice thing about cooking grains in whole form is that they expand when the water is boiling them. And so that means you're going to get a lot of volume, and they're pretty cheap to buy. These are so great to make in advance at the beginning of your week so that you have some leftovers, so you can throw them in your lunch, making a grain bowl, or tossing it on top of a salad. They are very versatile foods, and they are super dense in nutrition. So my third super simple step for how you can start applying the Mediterranean diet right away is by challenging yourself and switching at least one time a week. Instead of eating meat as your protein at your meal, try eating fish instead. The Mediterranean diet, being the region around a huge sea, is an area of the world where they consume a lot of fish and seafood. And populations that eat a lot of seafood tend to have lower rates of all of these diseases. Part of the reason for this is that fish is really abundant in certain healthy fats called omega-3 fatty acids that have been linked to lower rates of cardiovascular disease, which means fewer heart attacks. I know it's not something that everybody is ready to do, to overhaul their whole diet, and that is not what I'm suggesting. I'm simply suggesting to try to do a switch out at least once a week. Meat can certainly be part of a nutritious diet, but it's the amount that we're eating overall in our diet that really impacts our risk for disease. So I just want you to challenge yourself and try it out. Switch it up, go for some fish, and see how you feel. So I want to ask you all now, what is one thing that you think that you can apply to your diet starting today? What is one suggestion that maybe I made, or even something else that you came up with yourself that you would like to start applying right now? I want you to put it in the comments below. Tell me what thing you're going to do to challenge yourself. Now, if this video has been useful so far, please like it and share it with somebody that you know could benefit from this information, be it a loved one, a friend, a family member, or a neighbor. And then after that, if you want a step-by-step tutorial of how to make a Mediterranean diet meal, a basic Mediterranean diet salad that anybody can do in less than 10 minutes, then you're gonna wanna check out this video right here at the top where I make a salad with you. It's Mediterranean diet based, it's super easy, it does not require a lot of cooking skills, nearly no chopping skills. You can get started on that today. Go ahead,